This time last year, Townsville residents were warned to stay indoors as there were crocodile sightings in the floodwaters in their local streets. A few weeks ago, so that was last year, a few weeks ago after heavy rain, a shark was reported in a North Brisbane creek, prompting warnings for people to stay out of the water and to keep their dogs away. A bulletin alert from 2018 from the Minister for Environment, Great Barrier Reef, long lot of words. Be alert for bull sharks, crocodiles, snakes in floodwaters. Residents in far north Queensland are urged to be alert for bull sharks, crocodiles and snakes, as they can turn up unexpectedly in flooded areas, lurking in the water. And it is vital that everyone remains alert. So tell me, if that was your experience, if that came up on your phone, would you heed that as a warning? Yeah. I actually saw that on the news, and I rang Eden and said, by the way, don't go outside because there are crocodiles probably outside your house. Okay? She went, whatever, Mum. I said, no, I'm heeding this warning. So we would heed that as a warning, wouldn't we? Be careful. Sin is lurking at your door. If there was ever a divine check yourself moment, this is it. So let me tell you about two brothers. They were the first two brothers ever. The first sibling rivalry, the first worship service, and the very first murder. It's not the Lion King, just so you know. It's not the Lion King. We're not telling that story today. But it is the story. I'm using the word story, but I'm assuming that we all know that these are not made-up stories. Okay? Stories in the Bible, some are used for explaining. This is not a made-up story. This actually happened. So if I use the word story, I'm not saying it's a made-up story. Just putting it out there. So let's start with Cain and Abel in Genesis 4, right at the very beginning. Adam and Eve give birth, or Eve gives birth to Cain, and she said, with the help of the Lord, I've brought forth a man child. Later she gave birth to his brother Abel. Now Abel kept flocks, and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord, and Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. Now the Lord looked on Abel with favor and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast. Then the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. So this passage doesn't say that veggies were the problem. Okay? God, it wasn't about the vegetables. It wasn't about, I grew this from scratch. I sowed the seeds. It wasn't about that. But what it does show is a difference in heart. One bought some, and one brought first and best. Imagine on Valentine's Day, grabbing last-minute wilted flowers, day-old sushi, because you had to. It's Valentine's Day. I'm expected to do this. You showed up. I got my presents for you. You should be excited. You should be thankful because it's a thought that counts. But the issue isn't presence. It's priority. If you're running into Woolies, I know we get busy. If you're running into Woolies and grabbing the last thing off the shelf, that's not priority in your relationship. And so let's bring this to worship. Worship is not attendance. Worship is not mood. I don't feel like it today. I had a bad night's sleep. I had a fight with my kids on the way to church. I'm not feeling it. God, you got to impress me. Do something to impress me. I'm not in the mood. Worship is not routine. 2 fast songs, communion, 3 slow songs, message, 1 more fast song, and then have a cuppa and go. That's routine. But worship is declaring what God is worth to you. I have been through those times. I have actually had to say to God, I don't know where my place is right now. I know I love you, but I know that in this season that I'm in, I'd rather not sing these songs of love to you than tell you I love you when I'm still trying to work it out. And fast forward to now, I cannot not worship. I cannot not worship. It's in my being. I've seen him do far too many things. I've seen him turn so many stories around. I've just seen and experienced too many miracles and healings and signs and wonders within me, within my family, within my church, within my community to not worship. Romans 12 verse 1 tells us, present your bodies a living and holy sacrifice, acceptable to God. When you walk in and you're not feeling it, that's your sacrifice. Well, not the not feeling it, the next bit. Worthy is your name. I don't care what I'm feeling, God. You change me now. See, this was Cain's mistake. His offering wasn't pleasing to God. He didn't give his very best to God. He didn't prepare his physical offering, and therefore he wasn't prepared spiritually to give. Here's the thing. Worship is not just the songs. You can still be a worshiper without being a singer. You can still be a worshiper without playing an instrument. You can still be a worshiper without standing here with a microphone equipping others. Worship, this is just one part, one flavor, one little tiny aspect of worship. Worship is our impressions team, getting here early to clean up whatever they need to clean up in those bathrooms. And let me tell you, sometimes it's nasty. But that's their worship, because they want everyone coming in to experience the best. Worship is the production team coming on a Thursday night, setting the sound levels, going through our songs line by line to make sure that you have a non-distracted time before the Lord. Worship is the person straightening every single chair before and after the service. Unseen. Are you catching my drift? Why was Cain's offering not accepted? It wasn't just not accepted, it was rejected. Why was he angry? He didn't just go, oh, I'll try again tomorrow. He was angry. He was downcast. And God was like, are you okay here? What's going on? God knew what was going on. What exactly is unacceptable worship? Because we read through that, we gloss over that, and we go, oh yeah, he had an issue. When you first read this narrative, it's almost easy to feel sorry for Cain. I mean, I've read it that way and gone, but he loved God. He was proud of his crops. His blessing, the Lord blessed his crops and he brought it to God. He clearly loved God. He clearly wanted to bless him. And giving in this offering was his idea. And then comes the little brother. But we're talking about Cain. If you look at verses 3 and 5, it says, when it was time for the harvest, Cain presented some of his crops as a gift to the Lord. Verse 5, but God did not accept Cain and his gift, and this made Cain very angry and looked dejected. See, Cain wanted to worship God in his way, on his terms. He didn't go out, sort through, looking for the best fruits, looking for the ones that were just perfect, with just that right amount of shine to it. He didn't look at throughout his whole harvest and say, oh, this is acceptable for God. It would seem, if we're reading between the lines, that he's like, ooh, I've got some surplus. God's blessed me. All right, can you just get some of that and come over here, just gather some of that. Okay, now we're going to go and put that on the altar. Cavalier, casual. He didn't bother to see if it was acceptable and presentable before the Lord. Cain came before the Lord and he made an offering, but on his terms, not the Lord's. I'm assuming that, so they're grown. They've grown up. Adam and Eve are their dad and mum. They know how to worship. They know their parents lived with God, literally walked with God. God made them clothes. So these kids have got firsthand how to worship, how God looked after them. Even after they sinned, God was still faithful. He's grown up with that, but he still came before God on his terms. Later on in the Bible, the prophet Amos writes about worship our way in response to many in the nation of Israel who had fallen into the habit of playing church. It says in Amos 5:21-24, through the prophet Amos, God said, I don't want your songs if your heart isn't in it. I don't want your gatherings if they're just routine. That is paraphrased. If I read it in a different version, it would go, shoop. And I remember a time when I was just like, I cannot. I honor you too much, God. I cannot sing these songs if I'm not prepared to give you my all. And he was faithful, because he is. Amos was telling the people that they had to be genuine in their worship. They couldn't just play church and come to God with a heart that was not ready for worship. Remember, it's not just about the songs. So can I ask some tough questions? Yep, sit on your hands, put your rotten fruit underneath, don't throw anything at me. How do you come to worship? I actually had how do we come to worship, because I was like, oh, so much nicer. God's like, nah, I care about you too much. Do you just go through the motions, or do you worship from the heart? You know, like I miss when we had all the boys down the front and they would just like go crazy and out sing each other. And yes, there was a bit of like just teenage boy competition stuff, but man, they were passionate. You know, it's up to me and Ree and Cheryl, and you know, we're like bouncing along and getting the kids. No, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. But do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? You know, do we just go through the motions? How do you serve God? Do you want to serve and worship on your own terms or His? Sorry, Pastor. I'm just going to go. This doesn't happen in our church, okay? This is other people that I've heard it happen in other spaces. I know you need people, but I'm just going to go and pray and see what God's telling me, and then I'll get back to you. If there was a narrator, it would be they didn't go and pray. Some people do. I appreciate that. But generally, people do not come back and say, pick me. I'm going to serve in the impressions team. Because we think that this is where we need to be. We think that this is it. Let me tell you, this is scary. Up here is scary. Not bad scary. The weight of it. I tell you, if people are up here and they are not bringing their first and their best, we need to get off. We will never speak anything from this platform that is about, you guys all fix yourselves and we'll just stand back and we'll just do this. We are watching far too many speakers and people who use their platform for not good, and they are falling. God is doing something in our world because people who are doing that, who are not bringing their first, they are starting to drop off because God can't accept it. It says in Revelation 3:16, all the other way at the end of the Bible. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to spit you out my mouth. Worthy is your name. Oh gosh, I've been singing for so long now. When are they going to get on with it? Oh, Jesus. You deserve the praise. Oh, I can't sing that because, I don't know. Like, did you come through for me when I prayed to you this week, God? I think in our busy lives, we can turn on autopilot when it comes to church. It's easy. We make it so accessible. We're not attractional, but we're accessible, okay? We do care about making it a nice space. We don't have to go and meet under the tree in the heat. We've done that. We have done that, by the way, but we don't have to. We've been so blessed with this building, and we do... We do everything that we can to make it good. It's just died. Wait. Now my writing is really tiny. Can I have my IT support person come and help me, please? Can you just plug it in or something? I'll have to read it on my phone, guys. It's so embarrassing. I just said, as I watched Tram use her phone, I was like, how do they read off their teeny tiny things? And literally here I am. Oh, I love God. He's so funny. Revelations. I think in our busy lives, we can turn on autopilot, okay? Because it is accessible. We've been doing this for so long. If you've been coming along to LiveCity Church, you know that we start at 9:30, not 9:40, not 9:45, not 10, 9:30. Actually, the first service starts at 8:40, our prayer service, okay? So we start then, and then we do our 2 fast songs, and then we go in and we talk to people. What happens next? Communion. What happens next? Worship, or our more intimate songs, 3. And then what happens next? We transition to the speaker who kind of maybe will, tickle our ears. Oh, thank you. Oh. Yay for IT. Oh, now it's not working. Wait. Gosh. Man, no, this word is happening. This word is happening. I still... But when we do that, that's not worship. That's routine. We know what's going to happen. Sometimes we'll actually mix it up just to like, oh, tricked you. Every time we gather here at LiveCity Church, we are intentional to make sure that we take time and we give God the best worship we can, regardless of department. It's actually the first value of our 4 values: worship. Whether it's the impressions team, whether it's production, whether it's kids. If we all... It's my paper. As a leadership, that is our intention, which now flows out down. And if we all get to that place, can you imagine? Can you imagine? You're going to be changed, which means your immediate community is going to be changed, which means your city is going to be changed, and so on, which means the world's going to be changed. God just needs a remnant. It starts with a remnant, and God always responds to worship. It's either positive, like Abel's, or negative, like Cain's. It all depends on what you bring to God. You can't bring half-baked worship and then question why you're not hearing from Him. It says in Ephesians 5, and walk in love as Christ has also loved us and given Himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling aroma. I'd just like to thank the youth for having that as an extra experience. We're having a 4D experience today. You might be able to smell the sausages getting ready. Sweet-smelling aroma. Thanks. Yeah. Sacrifice as a sweet-smelling aroma is actually mentioned over 40 times in the Bible. I'm pretty sure it's important to God. The origin of the word worship is actually worthship. It's derived from Old English, and it means to ascribe the highest worth, or to give worth to someone or something. It is a deliberate act of attributing supreme value, honor, and devotion. It literally means worthiness. Worthship. You just sung it. Worthy is your name. It goes beyond emotion. You know that, like, oh, they're hitting the right chords. Oh, I'm feeling that. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. It's as if you're not even singing anymore. You are just singing to Him. You are at His feet. It's a value exchange. It signifies an attitude of the heart. That's what Abel had, an attitude of the heart. It's about reverence, submission, adoration. I remember as a young Christian, I was like, oh. Now my parents were in the 70s, man. They were saved in the 70s, so I saw a lot as a kid. In the 80s, I'm talking mass baptisms. I saw a lot. I watched my dad actually pour liters and liters of alcohol down the sink when he got saved. I'm talking radical. I'm talking out there. And then somehow, great. That's what I was brought up in. And yet somehow I'm in my 20s and I'm like, I'm not going to raise my hands. I'm singing to God. He knows my heart. Ugh, you try and stop me now. Stop me now. Harder to sing like this for me. I'm out there too, so I get it. It's not everyone's like how you're created, but this is how I'm created. True worship is not merely a song or a service, but the act of declaring supreme value to God. You know, if God is saying, I want you to sing at this altar today in the middle of worship, don't say, oh, why would I do that? Do it. We're waiting for that breakthrough moment. We are just one person away. We are one worship away from revival. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? I don't know. I want it. I know you want it. So let's just look at 3 very quick principles of worship that we can learn from Cain and Abel. First of all, what you bring matters. What you bring matters. None of this half-baked. Who's ever had a cake half-baked? Who's ever had chicken half-baked? That's not a sweet-smelling aroma. Sometimes that's what we're bringing him. God, I have done it. I have done it. Okay? I'm a human being. I'm not some super person up here. I'm just going to it's actually in the next point. What you bring matters. 2, how you bring it matters. See, it wasn't about the vegetables and the barley and the wheat and whatever it was. It wasn't the best. It was leftover. It was surplus. It was how Abel brought it. It's your attitude. It's your faith. It's the intent of your heart. God isn't impressed by volume. I don't even know. I mean, obviously I wasn't there. No one was there except for them. I don't know how big his offering was. It might have been huge. God's not impressed by volume, but he is moved by sincerity. I'm going to be very raw and very vulnerable in this moment. I really didn't want to share it, and God was just like, you got to share it, girl. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. He's like, next minute I'm typing it into my notes. So picture this. Missions trip, another country, worship leading. I was part of the team. My husband was leading a song that I wanted to sing with him. I don't even know if I've had this conversation with him, so he was there. He felt the wrath at the end. Trust me. So I was so concerned about singing this. It's a love song. It was called Beautiful Exchange. Okay, a love song. I'm going to sing that with my husband. I've told him we're going to sing this together because, you know, we're in love and we're singing about how much we're in love with God while we're in love with each other, and it was just going to be amazing, and there was going to be a great move of God because I was going to sing this love song with my husband. I didn't get to sing that song with my husband. Somebody else got to sing that song with my husband, and I was mad. Guys, I'm on the worship team. Standing here, singing away this beautiful love song to God with somebody else. I was mad. I was Cain. I did not let what happened in that service affect me at all. I was cold. So cold and so intent on holding on to this. What did I do? What did I do at the end? I picked a fight. You know how you said that you were going to sing that song with me? I don't remember having that conversation, love, but... Well, you did, and now you sung it with somebody else, and she got the blessing of singing with you, not me. I told you, you are not going to get pretense up here. Think of the worst thing you've ever smelt. Okay, I know you're thinking it. Impressions team who have to clean that nasty bathroom sometimes. That's what I brought to God that day. And on this side of the timeline, it breaks. I hadn't even thought about that. That happened years ago. I don't even think David was born. Years ago. And as I'm writing this, God's like, I want you to share this story. Third one. Worship must impact your daily life. God asked Cain, why are you angry? He's not asking for information. He can clearly see that Cain is angry. He's a young adult male. We know when they're angry. They're blustery. Why are you downcast? He's not asking for information, but he is offering intervention in this moment. He says, sin is crouching at your door. The image is not casual. It's predatory. It desires to have you. It wants mastery over your life. It's willing to wait. Remember, crocodiles lurking in suburban streets. A pastor friend of mine once shared that she had a picture of a snake lying in the doorway of her home. She'd been praying for some things and needed some clarification. This is the picture God gave her. The snake wasn't bothering her. It's just lying there. And at first, she was a little bit taken aback. She was a little bit afraid, highly alerted to its presence. Why is there a snake in my doorway? But over time, she became used to it being there until she didn't even notice that it was there anymore. I'm just going to walk over it. Oh, you're still here. Okay, it's a snake. And then it moved closer to her. Closer and closer until it reared its head to strike. God was warning her about a situation that she would have to deal with. And so you've got this situation. God is saying, come on, Cain. Come on. Sin is crouching at your door. It's right there. I can see it. It's on your face. You see, no one wakes up planning to ruin their life. He didn't wake up that morning going, you know what? I'm going to kill my brother. I'm going to have a jealous fit of rage and, ruin my life. It doesn't happen like that, but it does start. It begins with some. I'm just going to bring some of myself, some of my offering, some compromise, some bitterness, some pride, some worship. Oh, I'll do that, but I won't do that. Every time we come to worship, not just the songs, talking to somebody in your workplace. Every time we come to a moment of worship, we are stepping into a sacred moment. We should be different from the world. This is not just a service. This is not just a gathering. When you go out to your workplace, when hampers are packed, they are not just doing that because it's a nice idea. But what happens when God goes, are you doing this for you or are you doing this for me? The moment God asks so gently, I'm sure he was so gentle, why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? It's not because he needs information. He knows everything. He knows why you're having that pity party. He knows why you're stomping your feet. He knows why you're jealous of that other person. It's not because he wants information, but he does want our hearts. Before sin ever mastered Cain, he had a moment. God spoke to him. God warned him. And God invited him to choose differently. Come on now. Come on now. If you do this the right way, it's going to be good. This story isn't just about rejection. It's about invitation. God stepped into that space. Into that space. Can you imagine? It's not just, oh, did God actually say that? God literally said, if you do what is right, will you not be accepted? This is not a threat. It's a promise. If you just do what's right, look at all these things that I've got for you. Maybe some of us haven't been bringing our best. Not out of rebellion. I don't think that's it at all. But out of exhaustion. Maybe you've been on autopilot. I hear you, Mama Bear. I remember a time when my girls were little. It was homework time. I've probably shared this story before. I was preparing dinner. It was awful. The girls were like, I'm trying to cook dinner. Da, 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 da. Holy Spirit prompted me. I don't even know if I went, I don't know what to do anymore. I probably did. Young mum. He prompted me to put on worship music. And instantly, the atmosphere changed. Instantly. The bickering stopped. My what am I going to do with these girls? I can't wait till your father comes home. All of those things that you say instantly. To the point that those two little girls went, can we have worship every time we do homework? Yes. To this day, I'm talking, this is 20 years ago, over 20 years maybe. When they were in uni, what's the first thing they do when they're doing their assignments? Worship. Music. Not with the words, because then we get distracted. And now that they're in the workforce and they're planning lessons and they have to they're teachers, so they have to have these you have to be able to entertain these kids as well as teach them, guys. This is teaching now. What's the first thing they do? Worship. Something that the Holy Spirit prompted me way back then. I had a choice. I could have gone, let's just get through it. Girls, do your math homework. Do your da-da-da-da. I had a choice. Maybe worship has become familiar, but our gentle, loving God says, you can come closer. Check yourself. He doesn't go check yourself like that. He goes, just check. Just check. Sin might be there. It's lurking. Sin might be lurking here, but you know what else is here? Grace. Undeserved favor. God always responds to worship, not because he is harsh, but because he cares too much to leave us unchanged. This undid me when I was writing this. It's undoing me now. He cares too much for us to leave unchanged. So as we leave today, our question isn't, did the worship move me? Did God prove that he loved me? The question is, did I bring in my heart, my surrender, my first and my best? But here's the thing. You might have come into this space going, tomorrow's Monday. Actually, I did that. I went, tomorrow's Monday. I've got another big week. It's never too late to choose differently, because God's like, come on, guys. Come on, girl. Come on, mate. Come on, son. You don't need to be downcast.